It's interesting. So you're talking about your kids, you're talking about, the path to get you there. When you look at your path that's gotten you here, right? You're talking
Yep.
about talking to your kids. I talk to my kids all the time. I have an 18 and 21-year-old. Um, who was a mentor of yours that helped you on your path?
Yeah, so I've had a few. I've been really fortunate. I'd say, it started with my very first boss in consulting, going back to the early '90s at KPMG. Larry Jansky was a partner at KPMG here in Washington D.C. and brought me into what was the Aerospace and Defense Consulting Group. So again, very different background. I spent most of my time in like big tech and technology, but it was really interesting watching him um, work with clients because he was very what's the word? It's not self-effacing because that's the wrong kind of thing, and it kind of puts off a negative connotation. But he was very humble, and the clients respected him more for it because he didn't.
Yeah.
It was something he actually taught me as well, and actually one of the most important things he taught me, which I've said to every group of people who've ever worked for me, was, you know, um, things happen, things go wrong, and you fix them. The sooner you know about them, the sooner you can fix them. He says the only thing I
Yeah.
don't ever want to be is surprised.
Yeah.
Right. So he's
I
like,
said,
come to me if you got a problem, because if you don't, and then it's gonna, I mean, it's like there's an old expression that Dan Peraro, an author, I remember, I'll never forget this phrase he used in a book he wrote. He said, everybody's got their own baggage, and the baggage claim of life is there, and your baggage will just sit there and circle till eventually you pick it up. So it's like
yeah.
you have to deal with things because sooner or later you have to deal with things. So better to deal with it sooner when it costs
Yeah.
less.
Yeah. So good. Yeah, I talk about that. I talk about that a lot as far as surprises, and it's funny. One of the things I do for clients is occasionally I'll interview people with them or for them. And we were interviewing with two owners of this company. I was interviewing somebody, and I asked the question: if you did something wrong, what would you do? And they said, not tell anybody. This is in front of the owners of the company. And I said, are you sure that you want that? Are you sure you want that to be your answer? And the interview was basically over. You can understand why.
Yep.
So it's so important. I love that.